is in limbo and worry because are be able to live here even though they own their home, have their cars, their jobs. A lot of places had to let some of these people go because they cannot work. Even though they have the work permit to work, they cannot work. People's gonna be upset with me for saying this, but it's a fact that Jamaica is gonna look so good to a lot of people right now in the coming years because of what's happening here in America. And it's several factors why I say it, because a lot of people are scared to even show up to their court appointment or, you know, the immigration appointment, put it like that. And you can't blame them because if you're new here, welcome. And if you've been here before, welcome back. Oh, this is dirty. Welcome back. So if you guys haven't already heard, Florida is about to open a new detention center, immigration detention center. It's going to call Deportation Depot. That's the name of it. And that's where they're definitely going to be deporting people from. That's what they're saying. I'm not sure if it's really going to get it done. Well, they can, because you see how fast they did Alligator Alcatraz, which they cannot build on. So they're building this particular facility. Hold on, y'all. Building this particular facility in Jacksonville by a state correctional center in Bakers. I think it's Bakersville. I'm not sure, or Bakersfield, whichever way. Somewhere in Jacksonville, they're going to build it on where the existing correctional center is. They're going to put this so-called Deportation Depot there. I guess because they cannot build on Alligator Alcatraz. Today, nothing haven't changed in America when it comes down to immigration as far as getting better. It's getting worse. People are still hiding, some of them, because, you know, already, if it's a criminal offense if you get arrested here in Florida and you do not have a green card automatically. Most places anyway at this point, but Florida is definitely a no-no when it comes down to illegal immigrants. Still hiding, still trying to, you know, figure things out, get around the system. But it's going to get even harder because even the people that had filed for asylum that came from Haiti, Cuba, and filed for political asylum, you know, running away from the horrible things which a lot of people would run away from, is they got a little bit of leverage, you know, or a little bit more time, if per se, till next year. I think January, February. I'm not sure what month the judge gave them to extend it. So for now, Trump cannot or shouldn't be able to deport those people. But a lot of people that's here legally right now, that's bought their house, living their lives with their family, is in limbo and worry because, let me see, we're in August, September, October, November, December, January. They have 5 to 6 months to figure things out. If things go south for them, they won't be here or be able to live here, even though they own their home, have their cars, their jobs. A lot of places had to let some of these people go because they cannot work. Even though they have the work permit to work, they cannot work. Some of them, not all of them. Yes, some of them cannot work, and people don't understand that this thing is a ripple down effect, because when things like this happen, people tend to lose things in the process. Because if a person working somewhere for years, then just to find out that, hey, you cannot work no more because they're not going to renew your work permit. Because the thing is this, even they shouldn't be deporting them. When it comes down to renewal, everyone know that everybody has a renewal date on everything, as far as green card, visas, whatever the case might be, work permit. Now the trick is when you go in to renew things, those times they could just deny you because the fact that these things are in place. And a lot of people are scared to even show up to their court appointment or, you know, the immigration appointment, put it like that. And you can't blame them because they're arresting people, they're detaining people, they're deporting people, regardless of what some of the judges say. They do not want to admit it, but they do. And that's happening to a lot of people that's complaining about it. I'm not sure if this is going to keep on going like this for the next 3 years. For a lot of people, it's sad, but it's a fact. We have to start thinking about people. And then not only that alone, I drove by so many places the other day and I realized how many people don't have any food, can't afford food. The food banks here in America is ridiculous. Mostly the church. Anyone know a pantry? That churches here in America have pantries, and I'm driving by and I see all these cars, and you're not seeing just old people or people with a bunch of kids. This is like lines of fancy cars with BMWs, all different color, you know, kind of cars. And I'm like, this is really, really sad that it comes to this, where people that normally could buy their food, afford to live, cannot, you know. And this is what America is coming to. But you guys, if you come this far in the video, please consider liking, sharing, and subscribing. You know, it's really getting rough out here for a lot of people, and no one really want to address it. But there's a situation that a lot of people is living in right now where it doesn't look good. And a lot of people, even in Florida, and even their own that's born here, that cannot even get help, that's living in hotels, that's receiving Medicaid, Medicare, are getting, you know, pushed to the curve. Can't buy their medication, cannot pay for their medical care, nothing, you know, can't get no assistance. Even their simple as their little food stamp is being cut or cut back, whatever, scale back to what, you know, we all know some pensions cannot pay a mortgage or rent or anything of a sort. Some people living in hotels because they feel like it's cheaper just to have that one bill instead of trying to pay light and water. And that's the reason why a lot of people live in hotels here in America. Some people just cannot get it. Yes, they're bad credit, whatever. Some people are addicts, but there's people that's actually nothing wrong with them that couldn't afford a maintenance fee, HOA fee for their home, plus their mortgage, plus their bills, their food, you know, etc., whatever. And that's why they resort to hotels. And it's a lot of old people now that's going to be homeless because some of these places they cannot afford anymore. There's no one here to help the older American, the sick Americans. It's just getting bad. And for my fellow Jamaicans, if you're here and you have a few shilling, whatever, save as much as you can, because that's all I could tell you guys. Save as much as you can, just because you don't know what tomorrow might bring. But so guys, like I was saying, a lot of people's gonna be upset with me for saying this, but it's a fact that Jamaica is gonna look so good to a lot of people right now in the coming years because of what's happening here in America. And it's several factors why I say it, because things are so expensive. The only thing that's beating Jamaica is there's not enough jobs that's paying well down there. Jobs don't really pay well in Jamaica. We know that. Some jobs do, and depend on your education, yes, all of that. But for some people, lifestyle, they're complaining just the same everywhere. It doesn't matter where you live, at Jamaica or America, UK, or wherever. And with what's going on here as far as like people losing their jobs, their government jobs too, mainly. It's not really just regular jobs, because you will have, as far as healthcare is concerned, those jobs is going to always be around. Those jobs is like a 24/7 kind of thing where people, you know, always have work. And that's the truth. Even in COVID, healthcare workers had the most jobs, and you will never be out of a job if you're a healthcare worker. But what's sad is the people that do have their work permit or green card are able to work now, in a couple of months when it's renewal time, knowing that they might be in, you know, very sticky situation, won't be able to renew. And some jobs do check on the background to make sure that you're up to date, because they want to make sure that they're in compliance with the immigration system, you know, because, and they're going around really like pretty much in some of these places they're checking people that's going to renew their driver's license, people that's going in to get, you know, a new ID. They're asking you a citizen, you a resident, and they can actually check your background and notify immigration. And that's what the law is down here, where if they know, they can, and there's nothing going to come of it. You can't, there's nobody to sue. You should have that privacy, but there's no privacy when it comes to Florida, to certain things, and a lot of other states, believe it or not. And even New York, even though it's a sanctuary city, they're trying to cut that out. They're still giving out information. But like I said, the work, people are building houses, cannot complete it, just as much as if there was living in Jamaica, cannot complete their house. Don't get it twisted. There's a lot, and I'm going to show you guys, there's a lot of abandoned houses here in Florida that started building. And not only that, between them, the developers, and not having enough workforce to build these houses, that's also another problem for a lot of people. Some people cannot go to work because they're in hiding. And that's one of the most messed up thing to be in America, and able, you know, you used to be able to go to work, make your money. Now you can't even come out your house. You're afraid. You know, it's really sad for a lot of people right now, and it's going to get worse in the coming months when those asylum seekers, you know, have to face the music. Is either the judge go ahead and give them an extension, or they're stuck, you know, in limbo, or some of them will be deported. And that is a lot of people that have jobs now will lose it, and a lot of people already started losing their job because of that. situation there, it's getting bad. So if you come this far in the video, please consider liking, sharing, and subscribing. God bless.